that song? Are you familiar with that melody? Well, most people know it by a certain title that I didn't know. So I discovered this song, it's 30 years ago. But before that, I'd never heard any of these gospel songs before. And I moved from Australia, and I was part of this great little church up here in the valley. It's pointing that direction. It's Tahunga, California. The pastor was Pastor Samuel McCrary, and he had two sisters, Linda and Charity McCrary, and they were the singers and the worship leaders in the church, and they introduced me to these great songs, these great gospel, roots gospel songs. And so I'd never heard them before, and they just were so fresh and so alive. And so, we'd play them at church, but I'd take them home and I'd start messing with them. And I think great lesson I learnt doing these things is when you can make a song your own. Even though these songs were written hundreds of years ago. And this particular song, I did a search the other day. This one I found out had the wrong title, or the different title, because the song title that I was given from the McCrary sisters was, Lord, I want to be like Jesus in my heart. That's the song title. I want to be like Jesus. But when I searched who wrote this song, I found out that the original title is, I want to be a Christian. It's like, well, I never heard that lyric. So that's a new one for me. But that's also interesting how songs evolve, because when I searched about where this song came from, there's some pretty good studies on this, that people think it came from Virginia, and they can narrow it down to a time frame, the 1750s, which I don't know how they do that, but they did. And in part because this was slave church people are stuck in this, terrible life, and yet they found great ways of writing these songs. And this song is a prayer. And there was an old Presbyterian minister there, a British guy, and his influence over the people there got them into prayer. And that's where some of these songs emerged. And so I can really relate to this song, because in my own life, that's what I want. I want to be like Jesus, I want to have that peace, that grace that he carries with me. So that's why I love this song so much. But the short little quick story is that I go back to Australia after I've been here for 2 years. I record this song on a record of mine. I performed it hundreds of times, but it's the first time I performed it in Australia. And so my regular friends and fans came along, and they know a lot of my old songs, and I performed this song. And at the end of the night, somebody came up to me and said, Chris, I'm a great fan of yours, and I love a lot of your songs, but that's the best song you've ever written. Now, the funny part of that is that in another time when I was younger, I might have been offended, but I wasn't offended at all. I just cherished that comment, because when you grab someone else's song and you sing it and you carry it from in here, it should become your song. It should sound like you wrote it. That's what I like. I've written lots of songs, hundreds of songs, and I love hearing other people record them. I love hearing people take hold of it and make it their own. That's what songwriting is about. Songs are for other people to sing. So anyway, this is a song, I Want to Be Like Jesus. I'm sorry for the other title, because it doesn't ring in my head. But this is a prayer song. And so prayer songs always change. Lyrics change because prayers change and needs change. And so I sing different verses all the time, depending what I'm going through and depending what the audience is going through. This is my latest rendition, the latest lyrics, and I hope they identify with you. Lord, I want to be like Jesus in my heart, in my heart. Lord, I want to be like Jesus in my heart. Oh, in my heart, in my heart. Lord, I want to be like Jesus in my heart. Lord, I want to be more holy in my heart, in my heart. Lord, I want to be more holy in my heart. Oh, in my heart. Lord,